Hello, the internets. What a great day to drink some coffee and talk to you about some exercises. Have you ever experienced like tight hamstrings, right? The back of your legs are always like, they always feel tight, and you stretch, you foam roll, and they're always still so tight. Have you ever thought that all the stretching, all the foam rolling that you've done for 20, 30, 40 plus years, that's a lot of years by the way of foam rolling, that your hamstrings have not improved? Like all this stretching, all this foam rolling, all this other like pseudo stretching things that we do, it's a temporary relief, but it doesn't give you the long-term solution. So what is the long-term solution? Do we just continue foam rolling before and after sessions? Do we continue struggling with tight hamstrings? No. You know what we have to do? We have to rethink this, because insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. So let's do something different. Let's step outside that box. And I'm going to give you a quick little lesson. Those hamstrings are tight as a way to produce stability. It's a survival mechanism. And why are they tight? Well, there's something that's not very stable. It's what the kids nowadays call the core muscles, right? So we're not just talking about this pretty six-pack abs. We're not talking about these obliques. We're talking about everything, basically from the top of your upper back to your glutes and everything in between. When this loses that stability, when it loses that proper firing mechanism, your body parts in other places have to start making up for that lack. And so those tight hamstrings you're feeling is not because they're tight. And the IT bands that we're always told, like, oh, your IT bands are tight, that's why you're having knee problems. Garbage. That's why I'm saying garbage. What you got to do is you got to rethink this. So instead of doing these stretches, right, and these where you go down and you try to touch your toes, right, the toe touch, aptly named. Sometimes what we do is we take a false environment. We'll grab a beam or something, we'll place our heels up there, and then we can magically touch our toes, and we think, well, hamstring problem's fixed. No, that's just masking the problem even more. So what we have to do is we have to learn how to stabilize. We have to learn how to restore that core stability. And we love using our ultimate sandbags here. So we take some of those popular stretches. You know that hip flexor stretch where you're down on one knee and you just kind of reach forward with your body and back? That's done so incorrectly so many times. But when we can use that ultimate sandbag now, and we can actually connect. We can connect that top part of our upper back, those lats, and make that connection through. All of a sudden now we have more core expression. And when we can stabilize that core, guess what happens? Your hamstrings, your pelvis ends up coming back to neutral, because without that core stability, that pelvis is all over the board, and those hamstrings are trying to tighten up to help the pelvis stay neutral. And those hamstrings aren't supposed to do that. So if we can create that core stability, all of a sudden we're going to get those hips into neutral. And that's going to take that tension and that pressure off your hamstrings. So being able to put your body in these different positions, these different environments, challenging the core, using the ultimate sandbag as that form of feedback. So all of a sudden we can start getting that core going. Your hamstrings are going to feel better. Your hips are going to feel better. Your shoulders are going to feel better. Like, you're going to feel better. And the world's going to be a better place because you're better. All right. So continue following me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, all the social networks. And, this one doesn't cost anybody anything. This is on the house. You're welcome.